DNA.
Hello and welcome once again to Monkey Madness, where I review every episode of the 60s grooviest family sitcom The Monkees in original broadcast order, before ranking them all whenever I've finished. Today I'm reviewing Some Like It Lukewarm. As usual, the lads are strapped for cash, so they enter a TV band competition. The problem is that it's only for mixed groups, so one of them is going to have to dress as a girl. They choose Davy for obvious reasons, but little do they know that a competing girl band has the same idea. As the two cross-dressers fall in love at first sight, and the competition's host has the hots for him, will they be able to keep Davy's secret? If that sounds like an interesting plot, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It has its better moments, but on the whole, this is a bloated and bland episode. The main problem is the music scenes. When the girl band auditions, they play the season 1 song Last Train to Clarksville, sped up to give them high-pitched voices.
Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station.
This is a good idea, and it's funny at first. But then they play it all the way through, and saying it wears thin quickly is the understatement of the year. It should have been much quicker. There's maybe 1 or 2 lines from the guys, and they try to have a little fun with the editing, but the shots themselves are pretty bland. It really should have been half as long. Immediately after that, we get the Monkees performing a much better song that isn't sped up. However, whilst it's not as boring and the guys aren't bad at physical comedy, it's still pretty dull, at least by Monkee standards. It's just Davy trying to run off stage and the others trying to keep him on, with the host occasionally telling us what we've just seen as he ogles Davy.
She's trying to get off stage. So maybe next... Oh, get her back on stage immediately! I like the arm around her neck.
It just needs to cut to something else now and again, like some kind of montage. Even just occasionally cutting to Rainbow Room footage would have been an improvement. By the way, the song itself is Door Into Summer, a beautiful, slightly folksy song with a lovely light guitar riff over Peter's harpsichord and slightly fairy tale lyrics.
And he thought he heard the echoes of her, and he was so bad.
Mike's voice sounds beautiful in this one too. The final song at the end of the story at least has some fun angled shots, and the guys look like they're having more fun. In this part of the story, the two bands have formed a supergroup, and what role do the girls have in this new band? Dancers. They're just dancing. Like, not even like professional dancers, they're just ordinary girls, casually, slightly uncomfortably dancing on podiums whilst wearing Tina Turner dresses. Even without these bloated bits, the script seems below the usual standard. The show's never been the height of wit, but there are usually some better gags. I don't usually check these things, but this is the only time that these writers have written for the show. It looks like James Frawley may have encouraged them to improvise a bit, and, as usual, brings out the best of the lads, but it can't quite salvage it. It's interesting that out of all 58 of the episodes that they could have chosen to post on YouTube in full to promote the 50th anniversary restoration Blu-ray box set, they chose a really bland episode from each season. I'm guessing they wanted to show off the quality of the restoration work without giving anyone their favourite episode for free. But it's a shame that anyone interested in the show would have this as their only introduction. Anyway, that last song is She Hangs Out, a great number sung by Davy where he's basically singing, I hope your sister's legal because I'm gonna... That whole album is pretty solid actually. Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn and Jones is probably my favourite out of the albums released during the show. As for the guest cast, Dina Martin, daughter of famous Rat Pack crooner and unimaginative namer Dean Martin, is alright as Daphne, presumably named after the character from Some Like It Hot. However, she's given very little to do, even for a love interest. Jerry Blavat does a great job playing himself, A girl-crazy radio host.
Never in my life have I, the geeter with the heater, snapped over a fox such as you. You are devastating. It must be the mini. It must be something.
I think he's kind of cute.
You would.
I never would have known that he wasn't an actor. He gives a broad performance, which fits perfectly. In the Monkees, more is more. The best part of the episode is its tag scene. In season 2, each of the Monkees were offered the opportunity to bring a guest onto the show. The only one who didn't end up doing it was Peter, who was planning on bringing his friend Janis Joplin, but for some reason it never happened. It was probably where the guys' request to do a more variety-style show for the cancelled 3rd season came from, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Davey invited his friend and songwriting collaborator Charlie Smalls onto the show, who would later go on to write The Wiz. He compares the differences in rhythm between white and black music of the time.
1 and 3 is white soul, right?
Right.
And
exactly.
the 2 and 4 is the Motown.
It's Motown Soul Brothers. So, give me some 25 over here.
I think it's important to think of this in the historical context in which this happened. This was March 1968. Martin Luther King was assassinated a month later. Interracial marriage was decriminalised nationally the year before. 2 years later, Sesame Street was vetoed from state education TV in Mississippi by a state commission because, and I quote, some of the members of the commission were very much opposed to the showing of the series because it uses a highly integrated cast of children, and felt that Mississippi was not yet ready for it. I know that these glimpses of historical evidence are only a fraction of the complex history of race in the late 60s, but it's important to remember when you are watching this benign interaction, 2 friends laughing as they share the knowledge and joy of music, that this would have been seen as against the grain to many in the country. I'd also like to take this opportunity to bring up that I forgot to mention that their Christmas message of peace was not apolitical, as this was the era in which 300,000 men had been refused conscientious objection status, especially coming from 4 young men who had narrowly missed the draft themselves, but that's a story for another day. I'll make sure I cover Head at some point too. Anyway, this is really wholesome and I love it. He said that he was a friend of his from New York, so I wonder if they'd known each other for years at that point. I'm not caught up in the discography. Anyone know if they ever recorded this? All in all, despite a great interview tag and a decent supporting cast, Some Like It Lukewarm is, well, lukewarm. Have you seen this episode? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to tip me, you can buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi. Whilst you're there, you can also get a membership for bonus content, including seeing how I make videos just like this. If you want to see me review the episode directed by Peter, where they go to England, then you can watch my last Monkees video here. See you soon!
Where is he?